So, have you ever wondered how we take the pulse of an entire country? I mean, how do we really know what people are thinking, what they believe, what they're worried about? Well, there's actually a powerful tool designed to do exactly that, and it all starts with asking the right question.
Think about that for a second. It's a huge question, right? I mean, it gets to the heart of everything: education, citizenship, even the future of a nation. And this isn't just some random thought experiment. This was a real and pretty urgent question that needed an answer. So how did researchers tackle such a massive question? They used a very specific, very scientific instrument that's designed to capture the voice of the public. And that tool is the social survey. Okay, so what exactly is a social survey? It might sound a little academic, right? But honestly, it's one of the most practical tools we have for understanding who we are as a community.
Here's the textbook definition. The key word here is systematic. You know, this isn't just about grabbing a few people on the street and asking what they think. It's a structured process for gathering data on everything from our political views to our shopping habits. But what does it actually do in the real world?
This is where the magic really happens. A survey takes all that messy, complex social reality, all our different opinions and feelings and experiences, and it translates it into clear, measurable data. This gives policymakers solid evidence to work with. And just as important, it gives all of us a collective voice.
Now, you can't just dive in and start asking things willy-nilly. Every good survey needs a plan, a blueprint. So let's jump back to our case study on the Indian Constitution to see exactly how this works. The researchers started with two crystal-clear goals. First, what do young people factually know? And second, how do they feel about it? Having these two objectives is absolutely crucial, because if you don't know what you're looking for, you're never going to find it. Next up, who are you going to ask? The blueprint has to define the respondents. And for this study, they didn't just ask one group. They talked to a diverse mix of young people, students, professionals, people in cities and in villages, to make sure they got a full representative picture.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The type of question you ask completely changes the kind of answer you get back. Let's look at a few examples from the actual survey to see what I mean.
First, you have to start with the absolute basics. This is an awareness question. It just sets a baseline. Does the person you're talking to even know this thing exists? Then you dig a little deeper with a knowledge question. This isn't just about awareness. It's about checking for specific, factual information. It's a direct test of what they've actually learned. And then you get to opinion questions. This is where we shift from what people know to what they feel or believe. There's no right or wrong answer here, just a really valuable perspective. Finally, you get to the so what questions. These practice-based questions try to figure out if these big, abstract ideas are actually being used in a person's real life. It's the ultimate bridge between knowing something and doing something. So how do you actually get these answers? Well, researchers have a whole toolkit. They might use a simple questionnaire to reach a ton of people quickly, or they might do deep dive interviews to get richer insights. And, in some cases, say in areas with low literacy, they use something called the schedule method, where an investigator actually asks the questions and fills out the form for the person. It's all about picking the right tool for the job. Okay, so you've designed your survey, you've asked all the right questions, and you've collected a mountain of data. Now for the most important part. What do you actually do with it all? How does this information lead to real-world change? This right here, this is the whole point. Surveys aren't just academic exercises to be filed away. They're used to pinpoint really critical social problems, to give governments the hard data they need to create good policies, and even to check if the programs we already have are actually working.
So let's bring it all home. When you put all these pieces together, it becomes so clear that a social survey is way, way more than just a collection of numbers and charts.
Just look at the real-world impact from our case study. The findings don't just sit in a report on a shelf. They directly show where civic education is falling short, and that information helps schools create better lessons. The end goal? Well, it's to help build a stronger democracy with citizens who are informed and engaged.
And that's the bottom line, isn't it? Whether we're talking about constitutional rights, public health, or the economy, social surveys are the engine we use to turn the lived, everyday reality of millions of people into powerful knowledge that can actually build a better society. It's such a powerful tool for understanding who we are and where we're headed. It really makes you think. If you could use this tool right now to understand one thing about your community or your country, what would be the single most important question that you would want to ask?